It is transfer deadline day across Europe this Friday, except for Saudi Arabia, who is, for some reason, a week later, and that will cause all sorts of issues and commotions across Europe right now. But Albert Vartanian, it's a pretty busy day, exciting day so far. I thought we'd kind of try and rank some of the biggest movers and shakers so far this day. Now, bear in mind, as we record this, there's still 4 or 5 hours left, but Sofyan Amrabat to Manchester United is a huge deal. For me, that's the biggest needle mover thus far in this window. We saw this guy at the World Cup. He was absolutely brilliant, ran more than anyone else at the World Cup, in fact. Man United need midfield help, and now they've found him. Is he the solution, do you think, to the Casemiro conundrum early in this campaign?
He could be part of it. I always thought, the beginning of the season, watching United play, that midfield was completely unbalanced. Right, you had Eriksen with Casemiro and Mount, or Fernandez with Mount and Casemiro. It was just off, right? Yeah. You had Casemiro on an island by himself. Now you put Amrabat beside him, and he's box to box. You mentioned it. He topped the charts when it came to distance covered in the World Cup, recoveries, made player of the team, and he also has history with Erik ten Hag.
Yeah,
at Utrecht, exactly. Yeah. So he knows him very well. A player that Ten Hag has always wanted. I think he fits into that midfield perfectly. He's got a decent passing range, and he's almost like a Conte in terms of an engine.
Yeah, and a ball winner. Yeah, exactly.
That's exactly what
I just
he wants.
wonder, I mean, all these deals, right, happening today. Why happening today? They've had all summer.
I know.
Now, I know that the selling clubs can wait and jack those prices up, but this isn't like a crazy amount of money. In fact, it's a loan deal with the potential to sign him at the end of the season. Brennan Johnson to Spurs is almost done now. It's absolutely massive. To me, that's a great signing for under 50 million as well.
Yeah.
Spurs, want to really kind of paint that new team under the guise of Ange, and that's an Ange type of player, I think.
I think so, and that's exactly who he wanted. There was a report that Daniel Levy offered various forwards to Ange. He's like, no, this is who I want, Brennan Johnson. And it's interesting because I don't think he starts right away on that right side. Kulusevski is pretty solid there. The biggest difference, I think, between Brennan Johnson and Kulusevski struggles to take players on. That's Brennan Johnson's bread and butter.
Yeah.
Last season, he scored 10 goals, 3 assists in the Premier League, which was a notch down from his EFL Championship Player of the Year season, where he had, 18 goals, 10 assists. And I think that's because Forest abandoned their attacking style. Because if they didn't do that, Steve Cooper was going to lose his job, and Forest probably would have went down. Now he goes to Spurs, where it's full throttle. 50 to 60% possession, dominating possession, attack. So I think he fits into this team really well. Is he the solution for goals and replacing Harry Kane? No, but it's going to be by committee there at Tottenham.
You wonder, though, if he does play more centrally at times as well, whether he evolves into that.
Could be, yeah.
Could be interesting. Forest, by the way, I mean, what they're doing on this transfer deadline.
Oh, my God.
The last 24 hours, they've signed Nico Dominguez, Nuno Tavares, Murillo, Hudson-Odoi for 8 mil, Ibrahim Sangaro. There's talk about Divock Origi arriving there as well, but
apparently that's done, Charms.
That's a good move. It really is. I haven't seen him a lot. For
what
Liverpool.
Are they going to do? Chris Wood and Origi, 4-4-2 old school, long ball football's coming back.
Hey man, super sub, bring him off the bench.
He really is.
Scores in big games.
Yeah.
But we're talking off camera about Hudson-Odoi, 8 million. This is a guy that 5-6 years ago was going to be considered one of the top future English midfielders. It never happened for him. To see him go for 8 million, what a bargain that could potentially be. Conor Gallagher. Right now, to Spurs, it's being talked about from Chelsea. Nothing's confirmed just yet. Again, I like that deal a lot for Spurs if that goes through. He started every game for Chelsea so far this year. I thought he'd be better last year than he was. Brilliant on loan at Crystal Palace a couple of years ago now. Just the kind of player, again, that Ange likes, a ball-playing midfielder.
I thought that season at Crystal Palace, which was 2 seasons ago, outside of the Big Six, he was the best midfielder. You could have made the Premier League team of the year. He was that good. Not really a goal scorer. He's not a playmaker, but a disruptor in the midfield who's got a bit of flair to his game, right? And I think he fits in well at Tottenham. The midfield is pretty settled at Spurs right now with Sarr and Basuma and Maddison. But Sarr this is his first real season in the Premier League. You bring in Gallagher if he does come. A bit more experience. He's still a younger player. Yeah. High intensity. It just fits the system really well.
Good leader as well. Ansu Fati to Brighton. This one I love, by the way. If he can stay healthy. I know Sarah Perarier, she's not here today because of this move. Yeah. She's so broken up by it. But this guy, I mean, he was considered to be one of the solutions for Barcelona 3 years ago, maybe so young. But obviously breaks down too much. He's the kind of player that Brighton, though, can make look really, really good.
Yeah, it's true. He plays on the left side and likes to cut in, which I'm curious to see where De Zerbi puts him in, because that's Mitoma's side. You're not taking Mitoma out of that team. So maybe centrally, or does he move to the right?
Well, they're playing Europe, though, this year as well, don't forget, right?
They're going to be deeper. Tough group, too. Ajax, Marseille, and AEK.
That's a group of death for the Europa League.
But listen, if there's any side that can take a diamond from the... I know he's not a diamond in the rough. He's a bit better than that. But to shine him up and get the most out of him, it's Brighton and De Zerbi. Let's be honest.
By the way, that Brighton connection, Neil Maupay, who's at Everton, of course, 1 goal in a year, has now moved to Brentford.
How does this guy keep
where
getting
it all
a job?
began for him as well.
I know. But how does he keep getting a job?
Because
he can't score goals.
At Brighton, he was outstanding.
I don't know if he was outstanding.
Okay, he was very good, though.
He was good, yeah.
Right? He was one of those Brighton players who just found themselves at Brighton. And he went to Everton just terrible. Couldn't hit a barn door. But he goes to Brentford, who, hey, listen, Thomas Frank's a smart man. He can probably figure him out. He started playing there many years ago, of course. I like that deal. Polinia to Bayern Munich. It didn't happen. We thought it was done. Last minute, it breaks down. Germany's window closed earlier now. They were negotiating a fee. They couldn't finalize that before the deadline finished. You do wonder about his mindset now.
Oh, my God.
He thought he's playing Champions League football. He thought he's playing with Harry Kane and Alphonso Davies. And now he's at Craven Cottage for... well, at least till January.
You're going to have to question maybe his mentality now coming back. I mean, he's a professional. You're going to assume that he's going to play, but flies all the way to Germany. The deal doesn't get done because of money, and then the window closes. That's insane.
Do you see that his goal last week? He's been great this year.
He has been, yeah.
And hammering the badge, he's like,
yeah.
Love those badge kissers who then try and move a few days later.
Yeah, well, he had a really good season with Fulham last year. He's been good for Portugal. He was good at Sporting before he went to Fulham. So, the progression is continues, getting better and better. One of the top midfielders, at least this season, in the Premier League. And now I just don't know where it goes from here.
Great move though for Fulham.
Yeah,
this is great news for them.
Well, to keep him, but his mentality, right? What's his mindset going to be? How upset he's going to be?
He's a professional, Bodie.
I know he's a professional.
This happens all the time.
But things will change.
Brush it off and say, listen, January's a different month.
You did say the Saudi window's still open, right?
Oh, yeah,
right.
Thursday, I did say it, and is that segue for Mo Salah again?
I don't know how they keep saying no.
So today,
if that number, go ahead. Sorry.
No, the number is on numerous sources now. They have offered £150 million for Mo Salah, and Liverpool said no. There are now rumblings that another bid could come in before next Thursday when the window closes for £200 million for Mo Salah, who's going to be 32 next summer. He's missing a month this year at the African Cup of Nations. You can't turn down that kind of money for this guy. And I love Mo Salah, and every Red out there loves Mo Salah. He's been one of the greatest Liverpool players of all time the last 6 years. He's incredible, still really good. But you can't turn down that kind of money, I don't think. You can reinvest that in a young squad.
That was going to be my question. Do you turn down 200? There's absolutely no way. I'm surprised they turned down 150.
I'm surprised too. Well, maybe they knew they could crank it a little bit further.
Yeah, right? That's true too. But listen, you get that 200. There's a lot that you can do with that.
In January. And the summer.
Yeah.
There's a lot of football between now and then, though.
Yeah, and you never know, man. You got to be really positive about Liverpool right now. If that, the front three, the front four, if that works out, now with Gravenberch coming in, I mean, maybe they don't need Mohamed Salah.
Well, listen, he's still arguably the best forward on that team, right? But they are very deep in that position. Up for the front three, there are 4 or 5 really good players there, right? So
150 is a lot of dough.
Especially for the age, right? I mean, if he was 25, I would say no chance, right? This is a 30-goal scorer. But when a guy is 31 going on 32, it's money you cannot refuse. And I know Klopp says no, he's not for sale, but man, when John Henry hears about this, you got to think he's going to consider it.
What if Mo behind the scenes is saying no, I don't want to go? I know he hasn't come out and said it, but what if he's saying that?
Because in that case, they have no choice.
He's such a good servant to the team, right? You can't go behind his back.
But he's Arab. He's the most famous Arab footballer in the world. Going to an Arab nation. That's why they're throwing all the money at him. They're saying the final piece of this window for the Saudi Arabian League. And I mean, that would be some statement getting Mo Salah, wouldn't it?
So much more to this than football. Hey?
It's sad, though, isn't it? Biggest story, though, today.
Yeah.
Johnny Evans back to United.
Hey, welcome back, Johnny Evans. I've always liked Johnny Evans.
So do I. He's a really good player.
Always liked. Actually, there was a time, I can't remember what it was. Was he at West Brom? And I'm like, Spurs could use him. People are calling me crazy.
He's a really good player. Like, that's not joking here. He's
a good exactly player, what you get from him.
Yeah, exactly. No nonsense.
No.
Blue collar. Who plays more minutes this year for United? Johnny Evans or Harry Maguire?
Oh.
I think it might be Johnny Evans.
No. Harry Maguire.
I don't know.
Let's say Maguire leaves in January. He's going to play some time. You would think over Johnny Evans.
I don't know if he is, though.
Maguire's still a good player.
I'm a Harry Maguire fan.
No one wants to say that.
I'm a Harry Maguire fan.
But it's the truth. He's still a good player.
He should have gone to West Ham. I don't know what happened there.
Yeah.
That deal broke down.
He's got to be completely jaded at that club. Talking about somebody who's not in the right mindset.
Jeez.
Right?
Well, listen.
I think he still gets called up to England. We didn't even talk about this.
It doesn't make any sense how Harry Maguire gets called up. How Jordan Henderson gets called up. Calvin Phillips gets called up.
Didn't play a minute.
Raheem Sterling, doesn't get called up.
I mentioned it on Twitter. I'm like, what about Chris Smalling, Ben White, James Ward-Prowse?
Yeah.
What do these guys have to do?
I don't know. It's really odd.
Very strange.
Yeah. Really
I don't know why
odd.
you get so upset about England call-ups. I do, though.
I know.
Me.
Well, it's a big game against Ukraine coming up, right, in qualifying. You mentioned United, so not a great start to the season, but in the table right now, United's okay. So let's look at the top 10. And listen, it's really early entering this weekend. There's United 8th place right now, still 6 points. But I look at Man City right now. Perfect so far, 3 games in, 2 points up on the Chase Impact there. I've got a really nasty feeling this could be just an easy campaign for them. They're going to roll through most of these teams and clinch in like February or something.
I'm feeling that too, but we can never say that, especially in the Premier League. But, I mean, they look really good. They've strengthened once again. No De Bruyne, which is a bit concerning, but
they've signed.
But maybe it's not. Like they kept Bernardo Silva, which was huge.
Nunes.
Yeah, Mateus Nunes comes in.
Jeremy Doku, good player.
Yeah, the defense is. I mean, Ruben Diaz wasn't healthy the whole season last year. He's healthy now, which is massive for them.
No,
it is scary.
It's scary. It's a bit disturbing. As to the bottom half of the table right now, we're seeing Luton playing West Ham later today, by the way.
Yeah.
This is Friday we record this, so Luton against West Ham. Maybe Luton, they might not win a game all year. It's quite possible. Everton, I think, are going to, I don't know, I said this last year, right, and they came really close to going down, but it's been a terrible start for them. But early doors, the table means nothing right now, but there you have it. Looking to the weekend fixtures, though, there's some really good ones, actually, this weekend.
Yeah.
Brighton, Newcastle, Liverpool, Villa, and, of course, Arsenal, Manchester United kind of stand out to me. Brighton, Newcastle interests me a lot, intrigues me, Bertie, with Eddie Howe. Hasn't been a great start to them. Right, of course they played Man City and lost to Liverpool last weekend as well. Do you sense maybe Eddie Howe's seat getting a little bit hotter?
I think it will because it has been since he took the job.
It's crazy.
Yeah, the Saudis come in and because they have the money to get whoever they want, that's why his job will be under fire. I think he should be fine for now. I keep going back and forth with this game. Brighton win, draw. Brighton win or draw. I think I'm leaning towards Brighton win. Brighton were very good last season against the top 6. Didn't really lose.
At home as well.
And for some reason, De Zerbi just loves going up against these teams. And you have a team with Evan Ferguson, João Pedro, now Fati comes in, and Matoma, Pascal Gross. Like, it's a really, really good team. A lot of good chemistry there. I really think that Brighton can come away with 3 points here.
Does De Zerbi finish the season at Brighton?
Oh, not again.
Because you got to think that the minute a big club fires their manager, he's the guy they're going for.
How can it happen to Brighton again? There has to be some sort of... Can you put some sort of clause in there where you can't take our manager halfway through the season?
You can't.
I'm surprised that he's still with them this season.
Off-season?
Yeah.
Someone just clinched him?
Yeah.
They are already looking for the next replacement to Zerbi. They know it's happening at some point.
Probably, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Maybe Newcastle.
No.
Think about that.
Who would be the next Newcastle manager?
De Zerbi.
That's out there. No, they would go for a bigger name, I think. Like a Zidane.
Oh, I'm so over this whole Zidane.
Right, but that's what it sounds like. They want somebody of
so far, they've been
stature.
so smart in every signing, every hire so far. Going for the Galactico doesn't make sense to me.
Right.
It just doesn't. Eddie Howe's perfect for that club at the moment. And so we're just kind of speculating that's what football does. They're unfair and they'll fire those kind of managers. But so far, the Saudis that run Newcastle, you may hate to admit it, but have done a really nice job.
They have. They really have.
I don't know. Anything that stands out to you this weekend?
Liverpool Villa, I keep flip-flopping back and forth in terms of what's going to happen in that game. I ended up on a draw, but I really think Villa can upset here. I like the look of them. No Virgil van Dijk with Liverpool. That is, out of any player to be missing on any team in the Premier League, he might be the most important.
Villa, of course, coming off a qualifying match, though, this week as well.
Yeah, midweek football.
You're going to get up early tomorrow morning for Sheffield United against Everton?
I actually will.
Will you?
Yes. I think Sheffield wins.
Plans or something?
No, I mean, you got to watch the Premier League. It matters to somebody. It may not matter to us, but it matters to somebody.
I'll be in bed probably.
Is it 0-0 detector going off?
It could well be 0-0. Yeah, that's what I think. What is your morning tradition for football? Like the early kickoff? Do you stay in bed? You got a TV in the room?
No. You got to get out of bed. Get out of bed. You do your business. Go make a coffee.
Do your business.
You know what I mean. You got to go do your business, right?
That could mean many
go
things.
Go to the bathroom, wash your face.
At least just telling us what he thinks.
Yeah, I can only imagine. Yeah. Have a coffee, right? So by halftime, you got to do your business again, right? Clean out the system. Second half. I tell
you, Saturday morning, the missus brings me coffee in bed.
Really?
When we got the Premier League on.
How did you manage
That's why we're still married.
Wow.
Yeah.
You watch it in bed?
Just the first game. Okay. The early game.
You got a TV in the room?
Yeah, I have. Last year.
My wife won't let me have a TV.
I know. My wife fought that battle for 17 years.
The room is for sleeping.
I know.
All right.
I know, but then she got bored of me and thought, well, great, let's get a screen in there.
And then you guys started watching movies, and it was fine.
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah. All right, well, listen, that's Room 442 for another week. Listen, 442picks.ca. It's free to play. Sign up anytime. Big money on offer, as well as weekly and monthly prizes. Room 442 is brought to you by North Star Bets. That's a win.